Now we've given our horse a chance to run around a little bit with the saddle and get used to that. Try and work out what a girth is and what the whole thing handle is about. Now we start and put a little bit of weight on the stirrup.
Det var godt, yeah. Det var godt.
He's used to me up on his back, so the difference is now he's got a saddle and girth on. But it's much easier now for me to come up because he has tried to have me on his back before, so it's no new thing to him. That way I think it's easier for me to teach him this way, instead of climbing up the first time with the saddle on and him reacting violently. Try and work a little bit on both sides, a little bit on the left and a little bit on the right.
Tag den henover mere.
Another smart thing to try is when you've put a saddle on a young horse.
Skal ikke være frisk nu. Hey.
Is just to take the front legs and pull them forward. This way what you're doing is I'm making sure there's no loose skin under the girth and it doesn't pinch him. It also helps to get a horse to relax a bit if he's a little bit tense in the muscles. When I climb up on him, if he's a bit stupid and jumps around a bit, well, that's okay, I'll put him in his place. But it's a bit stupid if he does it because the girth pinches him. We can see on the horse now, he's started to be a little bit tired, but he's okay for now.
Yeah, godt. Hey. Det var fint.
Now you can see he's ready for the rider and he's used to the saddle, so now we're ready to put the bridle on.
Yeah.
What we have to be careful about now is when we work with the horse's mouth, it's one of the most sensitive parts of the horse. It uses the mouth and the nose a lot to sort out food and to sense if people are friendly or not. The first time we're going to put a bit in the horse's mouth, we have to have a lot of respect for the horse's mouth and not force the bit in. I like to have the bit not too tight, a nice heavy bit, a little bit wide bit, so it's more soft on the horse's mouth. Of course, I'm not stupid enough to expect every horse I climb up on is going to be nice and friendly when I climb up on it, and they can do a little bit of bucking or jumping around. So I have a little thing I use as an insurance. I have a strap which I put under the bit from side to side. It's not meant to be tight, it's just meant to have just contact, and actually doesn't really do much. We have to remember the horse is a very strong animal. We have maybe a metre 20 between the front and the back legs, a very strong neck and front legs and back legs. If the horse runs forwards and you try and stop it, the horse is an into-pressure animal. If I grab hold of the horse and try to stop it by pulling backwards, I'm fighting against all that power of the horse. So, and I just can't win, I'm just not strong enough. So instead, I have to use that muscle we talked about that was a bit stronger, the one between the ears. It's not very wide between the front legs, and if I push a little bit here up on the horse, it has a high centre of balance, and I can actually move the horse. So if all of a sudden I come up on the horse and it does something wrong, it starts barking or running, instead of grabbing hold of it and trying to stop it, and the horse runs into it, what I do is I try and take it out to the side, the left or the right. Now the problem comes if I grab hold of the horse when it's being a bit crazy and pull too hard, then I risk pulling the bit through the mouth, and that's not so much fun for the horse. So with that strap I have on under the bit, it then prevents the bit from coming through the mouth. So it's our insurance, whereas the horse doesn't have that bit ring through the mouth, and it's a bit easy for me to control the horse if I have one of the reins on each side instead of both on one side.
Så er vi klar til at sætte op på vores hest.
I have a slightly shorter rein on the inside, on the left-hand side. So if something happens and the horse sort of jumps forward or kicks out or does something, then I can quickly take the horse's head in towards me so the back legs go away from me. Again, safety.
Hvis jeg kan mærke den spænde lidt, så vent lidt. Vent lidt. Kom on, dog slap af. Rolig. Hey, rolig. Kom.
Now we try and come up and down a couple of times and trying to see if we can get him to relax a little bit more. He's still a little bit stiff in the back. If you feel that he's still very tense, so it's okay to come up and down and walk him around a bit. Now I'm up on the horse. It doesn't really know much about the reins, the right and the left, so we have to teach it. Again, we have to remember horses into pressure. If I grab hold and pull too hard, then I get a fight from the horse. It pulls back. So instead, I put a little bit of pressure on and try and distract it a little bit, trying to get it to focus on what I'm doing. And then as soon as it gives to that pressure, as soon as it bends its head around to the side, I release the pressure. Again, the same with just like everything else we do. If I ask nicely without being too violent or putting too much pressure on it, and then that's easy for the horse to give. And in the end, if I put a little bit of pressure on the horse so that it goes a bit the opposite way or up or around and doesn't really know, I just don't pull harder, I just maintain the light pressure. Eventually, when the horse gives to the pressure, after a few times to the right and a few times to the left, it starts to work out. Okay, if I give to the pressure's gone. So we actually teach our horse to give to pressure instead of fighting with it. Still a little bit tense in the back, so come down, walk it around a bit. Remember to let the air out and relax the body. It helps. The horses imitate us a lot on what we do, so if we can relax, it's a big help for the horse.
Kom. Op med næsen. Kom.
You can see the horse is smart enough. He's not fighting me too much. He understands if he gives to that light pressure I put on him, then I take the pressure away, just like everything else we've done. Every time he gives a little bit to me, I take the pressure away from him. Now we've taught him to bend a little bit to the right and left, so now we're ready to go a bit forward. Of course, it doesn't help me to start a kick him to have him to go forward because he doesn't understand what I want. So I try again and try and irritate him a little bit, just shift my balance around a bit and maybe rock a little bit back and forwards in the saddle. Again, I hold a little bit of pressure on him, a little bit of pressure. As soon as he takes a step, I take the pressure away. And again, like every other thing, he starts to understand, okay, every time he does something right, the pressure's gone. So he realises when he starts to walk forward, that's the correct thing to do.
Come. God, little man. Come. Hey, come.
Now he walks a little bit forward, so I take the pressure off him. Bit of good contact with him. Let him know it's good.
Awesome. Dear God, hey.
And he starts to understand because I've taken the pressure off him, what he's done was correct. We try a little bit again.
Come. Yeah, Kom, 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 kom. Ja, kom, kom, kom. Kom, kom, kom. Det var godt.
The more he starts to understand, the more I can push him.
Du kan se I starten, når jeg prøver at lægge lidt ben til ham.
He's still a little bit up with the back at times, but I just give him a chance to relax. And when he starts to understand, when I ask him to go forward, if he starts to decide he doesn't want to, and he starts to resist a bit, so I can put a little bit more pressure on. And just remember what I said, pull him out to the side, don't grab hold and try and stop him with your power, use his balance, take the balance away from him. Again, like the other things we've worked with, we have to have him to understand or have him to believe that it's us that has the power.
Kom. Kom, kom. Kom. Kom.
So now he's tried to go forward a few times now, so he knows what it's all about. So now it's okay that I push him a little bit more. If he doesn't understand, I can't be hard with him. If he understands and says no, then I can push him.
Kom. Kom. Det var godt. Kom, 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 kom. Det var godt. Kom, kom, kom. Kom, kom, kom. Kom, kom.
You can see it went okay, and I was also able to do a flying change on it. But I just changed my balance a little bit and give the horse a little tap with the leg, and it changed the balance, changed the lead fine. On the other vaulter, it went a bit wrong. I pushed a little bit too hard. The horse reacted a little bit violent. It was my own fault. I pushed the horse a little bit hard. I knew the camera was rolling, and I tried to show about how much I could when it wasn't necessary for the horse. You could see here it went a bit bad when I lost actually the right stirrup, and the saddle come a little bit loose and up in the neck, almost fell off. But we managed to hold on and stop the horse by taking it out of balance out to the side. So it wasn't so much the cowboy riding you should be concentrate on. It was more the fact that we had the horse to relax in the end. Now we're ready with our horse to come down. What we have to remember here is not just to jump down and scare the horse. Let the horse know what's happening. Move a little bit right and left in the saddle, and then relaxed and slide down.
Oh, stille og roligt. Hey. Det var godt. Hey.
The last thing we work with the horse is the most important. It's what it remembers the most. You can see the horse is now first time it's had the saddle on it. It's the first time it's had a rider on the back. The bridle it has had before, but not with me. We've got it to accept me riding it around a little bit, walk, trot, gallop. We've even tried to do flying changes on it. It went very good when you consider how little the horse knows. The horse now is very tired, of course, you can see. Not so much in the body, because it hasn't done that much, but between the ears, all of a sudden it's had to think a great deal. The next couple of days, the horse is allowed to relax and be fresh again, think a bit about what's happened. It's very important when I work with the young horses that they're fresh between the ears. It needs a lot of concentration for the horse to focus so much on what I'm doing. So I see a lot of the time when people say to me, but the horse is a bit fresh, we'll just lunge it for a while and take the top of it so it's tired, so it doesn't jump around too much. Problem you have with this is all of a sudden if the horse is too tired, then he can't concentrate. So I actually think it's better for me. I would rather have the horse fresh so I can concentrate. But we're finished with our little friend here now. One of the most important things to remember with what we've tried to show you here is it's not the details that count. It's more. It's not necessary for you to go out and climb up on your young horse and after a short time do a handstand on it, and then after a short time more gallop around, put it and change lead. What's important and what you should be learning from this is communication. It's about how to use your body language and come in to communicate with your horse. It's about how to look at the horse and read the horse's body language so you know what you should be doing with it. The important thing is not to be able to do a handstand on a horse, but it's about doing your groundwork so that you can do a handstand, so the horse trusts you. It's all about the trust. And one of the most important things to remember when you're working with horses, don't lose your temper. Stay calm.
Oh, you are good.